I'm curious about this quote. I like it. It's interesting. When I describe exactly what I want to experience with her, I'm essentially creating it. By naming it, I make it real.
Oh man, that is so, I'm the strongest advocate of speaking what's going on.
Right.
In fact, when I'm talking to a girl I just met, I'm never in rapport.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not asking her about her university, how long she lived here, how many pets does she have, tell me about your brothers and sisters. I never ask this kind of question. All I'm asking is basically this.
Mm.
Say it again.
That's the page, man. Great. That's all right. Good. When I describe exactly what I want to experience there, I'm essentially creating it.
Yeah, because the concept I have is naming it. Whatever's going on with you and this girl you're talking to, this woman you're talking to, you name it. Gives you all kinds of conversation material. I'm a little nervous right now. You name it. I've just ran out of things to say. You name it. You just say it. Just say whatever's going on in the experience. Then you never run out of material.
Yeah.
I came here and I was with my buddies and I came to talk to you and I just realized I just ran out of things to say. That's a good thing to do.
Yeah, it's real.
Right? And when you say this, and believe me, this is true. When you're saying this, you're talking to a girl and you can tell that there's a connection there, an energetic connection, right? We say, okay, well, I'm just gonna ride that wave of that energetic connection. I talk about it. That's why I say, I get it. You see what's going on here, huh? What? You feel that? Yeah, you do. I know you do. Because I feel it. I feel it. You feel it too. And the moment you name that chemistry, you talk about it with words, she feels it too. Well, she felt it anyway, but now it's like...
Do you have an experience of this?
He's laughing
his ass off.
Yeah, I was on a date last night. That's why I wasn't out with you guys. And it was... like some very unexpected things happened during it, and we were sat having a drink, and I'm thinking, well, this won't be long here. It just feels friendly. It doesn't feel like there's much attraction. But then it was, she is like deeply in a spiritual community here, and held the eye contact, and I was looking away a little bit more, but I noticed that she wanted to stay with it, so I stayed with it and saw what happened. And after a little while, I said, oh wow, all of a sudden I was starting to feel a bit turned on. And she said...
And you said it.
Yeah. I said it. And you know how... So her English was not the best, but where she had learned English was very much in technical places. And she said something like, yes, I also feel energies in certain energetic points.
That's great.
So it's like I'm feeling all this in my body, and she's feeling it too, because I can feel her come and meet me in that, and then she's naming it back in like very technical.
That's hilarious.
It was so sweet, man. It's so fun as well.
That's great.
But it's like I'm sat there in my chair looking at this woman, and I'm buzzing away, and she sat there, and I imagine that she's buzzing. I think this is what a lot of guys don't get. Like, I imagine if I'm feeling something, she is too. And this is a big learning I got with you, actually. And I'm thinking, wow, I'll just tell her that I feel this.
Oh, that's great.
And as soon as I did, she finally reveals the thing that she's been sat on for the last 5 minutes as well. Now it's like, okay, we've established that we're both feeling something.
I speak about it. If I feel that, I say it. Do you feel that? What's going on? That chemistry? And they're like, I say it. I leave nothing to chance, gentlemen. Nothing. That's why I say if I like a girl, I tell her I like you. If I want her in my bed, I tell her that. You'd be a great lover for me. You would be.
And yet with most women, you can speak your truth and blurt, but it's not in many parts of the world where you get the honest response straight away. I mean, living in Boulder, for example, I got a lot of feedback of, oh yeah, I'm totally feeling that too, and I want this. Like, women are very ready to speak their authentic
You might not get a
truth.
response. She might not be saying, let me share with you too, Jordan. I'm feeling very energetically turned on to you too, because I'm from Boulder. You might not get that from the girl. She might just go, but it's still a response.
There is a something.
There's something shifted, and she knows it. And she knows that you know what she's feeling because you could feel that energy. You speak about it. And the moment you name it, the moment you name what's going on there, right? Then there's that kind of like, that's secrets out, I guess you could say.
Now, there's something really important happening here with You're With a Woman that a lot of people don't have, which is I'm sat across her feeling things and I'll name it and I can see there's a response with her and I can tell what she's feeling and I feel something in response. It's like you've got this awareness of your energy and her energy. Yeah. And a lot of men that come into this, your business friends, scientist friends, for example, will be like, oh, I don't actually feel that kind of thing when I'm with another person. So there's, in my world, a massive language, sub-communicated or felt or energy language that's happening between men and women all the time.
Yes. For sure. And I don't know how to describe it like in alignment with energy fields or chakras or anything. But there's a volume of people out there that will say, you know, like a lot of guys are open from the head up, right? They're only projecting their energy from here. And not from here, and I don't know how to describe that, but I know what it feels like, and I know for sure that there's a projection of energy going this way, from your lower part of your body into the air, into the world. That is different than this analytical. Let's be logical about this whole thing. Let's logic this date out. Let's say something next that she'll find funny, right? Which is all in your head, and your energy is coming this way. And we said yesterday, she responds in kind.
You say you shoot from the hip.
Yeah, I'm a gunslinger.
How did you tune into it and learn that for yourself?
Yeah.
I don't know, because I've had people say to me, oh, you must have studied Eastern mysticism or Tantra, or I didn't study anything like that. I don't know anything like it. I know how to spell it. But that's about it.
Studied women.
It's just, and the things I was telling Owen last night, like he was sitting with a forward, like on his knees like this, and she's here, and his friends are all here, and he's looking at us and looking at her and smiling and kind of doing this a bit.
Still having a good time. But...
Still having a good time, but the energy was a kind of it was a closed energy that was, and somebody might be able to describe, well, here's what was happening. His heart chakra was closed. I don't know what's going on, but I know what he had to do to shift the energy.
Yeah.
And that was and I told him, I said, Owen, sit back and embrace the whole crowd. Sit back, smile, talk to Rich here, talk to your girl there, talk to Isaac over here. And just embrace the whole crowd and sit back and relax and open that up. Now, what that does, and he said, why does that work? I don't know. Yeah. I just know from all my years of sitting like interactions and my own interactions that's what he needed to do in the moment. That's the kind of coach I am. I can adjust that guy on the fly, one by one, because you would have a different interaction with that girl than he would, and he'd be more fidgety, you'd be more calm, and maybe more eye gazing to her, and I would be able to tell you, Jordan, like, come here, a little secret. I just break it off a little bit, because I can feel that that's what needed, and I'm not wrong. When it comes to this kind of stuff, I'm not wrong.
It worked last night.
Yeah, I wasn't wrong last night, and it changed everything.
It did,
right? And you were fantastic.
I also feel like this can work in a group as well. I had experienced it a week ago where I was really connecting well with the girl, and we both felt it. And we were in a kind of a group in a car situation, so I couldn't name it in that situation. There was a moment where we both felt the energy, and I could just feel out the corner of my eye. She was looking at me, I looked at her, and that was that kind of conspiracy moment where everyone else in the car had gone the same way. And we saw it, and I messaged her afterwards, and the first thing she said back was, I felt it, I felt that chemistry. Yeah. The first thing she said back, because we were like talking about it. That is so powerful to go, we both know it.
Yeah.
That one where you go, we both know it.
That's what you're communicating.
Yeah.
I know it and you know it.
Yes.
We both know what's going on here, right? That's the communication that you're getting. You exactly what you just described it.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing is, as I've always said, is a conspiracy. That's the way Casanova approached the world. He never was the guy that was like trying to be more interesting than the other guys, or more loud or funny, or tell the best jokes, or any of this kind of stuff, so that the girl in the party would look at him. he was like letting all these guys posture around her and be cool and all this kind of stuff and be interesting. And then he wrote there's this one story, I think I wrote the book here, where this famous actress was there, and all the dandies of the town were at this reception party, and they're hovering around her and trying to be more interesting and cool. And he just, back from here, he had a servant deliver a little note to her. And the note said, "Madam, I should like to begin an intrigue with you." Not, "Madam, I'd like to go for coffee with you." "Madam, can I come talk to you too?" No. It's, "Madam, I would like to begin an intrigue with you. Our little secret. No one needs to know."
It's a statement as well. It's like questions at the
Yeah.
invitation.
Exactly. And I understand that completely, because all of the interaction with women it's our conspiracy. No one needs to know anything.
Actually, that's interesting.
Crazy, huh?
One of my earlier questions, we talk about celebrating, saying it's inclusive, everyone feels it. And my question was going to be, what about conspiracy? Because that's a shared moment.
Yeah.
But actually thinking about that situation, there was a shared moment, we're in the car talking, there was still a conspiracy
Yeah.
between us.
Yeah.
It's both. It's not a paradox. You can have both.
And so George's example of the woman sitting over there, who's like connecting with eye contact, she's sitting with a crowd of people. There's a conspiracy happening here. I can still talk to you guys, blah, 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 at this table, but that's a connection that's not broken.
Yes.
And a lot of guys don't understand what I'm talking about when I talk about conspiracy and the sub-communication thereof. But it's real.
Yes.
It's real, and it's vibrant, and it's strong. And words don't have to be exchanged. Words do not have to be exchanged.
So you say here, there is a dance that happens before words are exchanged.
Yes.
How can a man know when he's got it? When it's actually happening and it's not some kind of fantasy of the mind?
Well, I think, and I may be wrong, but I think that everybody watching this can think of a time in his life when he felt that.
Yes.
You can.
Yeah.
You can. Right? And it's just capital. It's recognizing that does happen, and then seeking it and looking for it and making it happen. Right? The girl that was walked by, trotting to the bathroom and back, I could have sat here like being cool. Right? I didn't. I'm like, I see you. I saw you there, and I see you here. So I'm making something happen too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You can't just sit around being cool and women are going to follow your feet. You know? But that conspiracy is such a strong thing that it's an entire volume of understanding. And awareness kicks in. And awareness kicks in. And you start to realize that women are sub-communicating constantly, and men never pick it up. Because they go, "Oh, the girl looked over here, I don't know, she like me."
Yeah.
Right?
It's funny how much we miss out on.
How much we miss out
It's
on.
embarrassing.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. But once you become aware of it, you can start to tune into it and say, "Hey, wait, that's the rhythm we're talking about. There's a rhythm."
And women are incredible at sub-communication.
Oh, man.
How, but they've had their entire lifetimes of doing it, you know.
Because men
And
are
it's
so...
hard to catch them out, like they're playing, like I've seen playing with each other, you know, like poking their tongues out at each other, and you're looking over and they're fast.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing. Like, the conspiracy to me is like... It's the... Yeah. What that passage said is exactly that. It's like... It's sub-communication conspiracy is fantastic. It's so strong in me that I can be sitting... I think I wrote this in the book too. Everything blends together, whether it's in the book or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I can be sitting at a table where there's 8 people. And I like this girl. I don't know her. She sat down, she came with this girl, and you're there, and there's some other people here, and the whole table's having a rhythm and a conversation, and somebody's looking at their cell phone, and somebody is telling a joke, and 3 people are laughing. And I can be like talking to these people too and listening, and there will come a lull in the conversation. Not a quietness, but an opening that nobody sees but me. It's like in American football where you got that little opening and you can dash through it.
Yeah.
Nobody sees me, and I can be listening to this joke, laughing, and I can say something to her out loud, verbally, and no one will hear it. Like I can say blah 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 blah, and everybody's like going, and I can say in the middle of that, and you're my type of girl, you know that, right? Boom, whatever, or I see you, I saw what you did there. You this kind of thing. I can say anything to this girl, and no one will hear it. You're still laughing, you're still checking your phone, because there's always a sub-communication, but out of the corner of my eye, she knows.
So this is, for me, this kind of thing is the outer edges and the most inspiring thing that I saw from you when I first visited you in Brazil. You know, for a few days it was like, oh, this is a workshop for men about women and seduction and romance, and it's great, I love it. But it was something that happened on the last night that it was like I saw something impossible. And there was, we went up to Lapa, you were there in a minivan, and at the last minute I found an Argentine girl and invited her into the minivan, and you had a little conspiracy with her.
Oh, I don't remember.
I do very much.
I actually remember it too, because you were dancing with her behind everybody's back, effectively.
But in front of everybody, too.
We were
it
partying
was
in
just
the street,
like
and you were making out with her, and nobody saw.
There was like Zan, and then a couple of feet away there was the Argentine girl that we met, and it was like, I guess they're just walking near each other. That's what I saw from my angle.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I don't remember, but...
In the back of the taxi, you were talking to people with their hand on the boob.
Okay.
Nobody had any idea.
But nobody has a clue.
No.
Nobody has a clue with my, because I'm not overt, because I'm not going to embarrass her, for instance, right? Like for instance, I'll never make out with a girl in the club. Never. And there's an entire literature out there on how to get a makeout with a girl in a club. How to meet a girl, slice her away from her herd, and take her in the corner and start making out with her. I could never do that.
So you never make out with a girl in a club?
My girlfriend. But not a girl that like to me that feels like that's too of a I don't know what it is.
Yeah. It's like, for me, it's a culmination of ease and delight, if you will, because a lot of men, as soon as they've got they know that something's on, they'll turn on that beam of light and vroom, like go in, the heavy eye contact, let's get the friends away, let's get my friends away, let's go and kiss her as soon as possible and seal the deal and get her name on a contract type thing. Yeah. But there's a lot of trust and faith. Well, it seems like a lot of trust and faith where it's like, okay, I know something's on with that girl, I'm going to lay back and allow things to unfold.
Yeah. I mean, any one of us can go into a club, find a girl who's really drunk, and she'll make out with you.
Yeah.
Right? And what is that? And then her friends grab her and corral her, and okay, we got to go now, thanks, buddy. Yeah. And they take her off to the cab like this, and now it's 11 o'clock, and now you're back, and you were sitting there like making out with this girl heavily. Now you turn to see these other girls and start talking to them. Now you're a creep.
Yeah.
Who's this guy?
Yeah.
You're just making out with that chick, now you're trying to talk to us? Just feels like an invasive thing or something. I don't know, to me.
I want to go back to this conspiracy thing.
Okay.
Because after spending that night with you guys up in Lapa and like finally having an example of what that actually meant rather than theme in the book or something that we talked about over the coffee table one morning. When I went home after doing the workshop with you, it was like bit by bit my interactions with women would get better and better. It wasn't just like a click and then everything fell into place, but over a few months it was like, wow, now things are getting noticeably better. And it took me a year until I had an experience like what you did there. And I remember you saying something to me like, just shows the learning process is set an intention and let it go rather than trying to force things. You said something like, if I'm at a dinner party, I can wait for that lull in the conversation, then I can say something across from her. And I was traveling about a year later, and I remember being in the kitchen of a hostel, and there were about 10 people there, and Christopher was there playing guitar, and I was putting on music, and it was half guys and half girls, and people making food and coming back. And it was like, I liked this girl, and I just noticed that in the big group, every time I told a joke, she would laugh the most. And I thought, wow, blonde girl, beautiful, she seems to like me, all the signs are adding up. let's see what can happen here. And it was really difficult to get her for a moment on her own. Just, you know, like we're all in these situations where it's like, damn, so damn social. It feels like it's against me. And I thought, you know what? I wonder if there's a lull in the conversation. And at one point there was me here and her here, and there was like 4 here and 4 here, and everyone was talking over each other in a crossfire. And it took about half an hour after realizing I should look for the lull, that a lull happened. And she looked straight at me while everybody else was in conversation. And I went... and she was like... So I went... and smiled, actually, probably laughing at myself. And I got up from the table and I left, and I went to... I went behind the toilet where it was all like huts on the beach type thing, and I went behind the toilet and hid behind the toilet, smiling at myself, thinking, she's not going to come, she's not going to come, she's not going to come. If she comes, it's going to be a miracle. Then I heard it, like little footsteps coming along in the sand. And she followed me there, and she's like, what? I was like, been waiting for some time to get you out of that big social situation. She's like, yeah. Let's go for a walk on the beach. She's like, I love that, let's go. We went. Came back at, like 5 in the morning.
I mean, I'll tell on myself a little bit. I mean, there was times I connected with a girl in Brazil that you guys don't even know about to this day. I never even told you that.
I only know it once.
Right? Because it's so like... Nobody's gonna know. Conspiracy, man.
It's interesting because I'm looking back at my early years and I was quite shy, but I used to dance a lot. But the same things you talk about happen when you dance. So for example, if I'm with a group and I'm dancing with my friends and I see out the corner of my eye, it always happens from the side. I'd never go straight on. And we might be dancing with friends, there might be kind of a lull there, and I might just do something subtle like do that, like a playful bump. And then everyone was dancing low and she'll do it back, and we have this conspiracy. And everything you talk about here and it's relating back happens so naturally in dancing. Even when you invite, you might spin her around in a playful way. It's like celebrating, inviting her to shine. It's conspiracy, it's having fun, which you do when you dance. It's all in that as well. So if anyone's watching this thinking, yeah, but I'm in clubs, it's too loud, you can't hear people speak. It's the same principles happen here as well. It's like,
I saw you do last night.
I think we can sit here and talk about conspiracy and subcommunication and the secret language of women that nobody knows, and it's like, wow, what is that? These big themes, and there's all this advice, how to meet women in a club type stuff, and no one's talking on this. But I think it's something we all naturally know. Like all of the great love stories and movies from, when we were born include a massive helping of subcommunication. I don't think there's anywhere better to look than to watch something like Taylor of Panama that you point out. There's a scene in the Motorcycle Diaries with Che Guevara when he goes into a bike workshop, and there's just a subtle way that she would look at him, but there's an extra second. And the directors and the actors capture it perfectly. I think it's the only place to look to really get a sense of what we're talking about here.
And like I said, this is nothing new. This is centuries and centuries and centuries old. It's like it's always been the way of like a knowing whatever it is, and so you're just looking for that, and you're creating those moments, and maybe it doesn't land, but doesn't stop you from creating the moments, right? You can see it in the movie The Tailor of Panama, where Pierce Brosnan is being introduced to the British embassy in Panama, and he's talking to these diplomat guys, these older guys, and they're saying, "Well, you're going to really love your office and stuff like that, and we're pleased to have you here in Panama." And everything he's saying is to the woman, like he's responding to their questions or their statements, and he's saying something else with innuendo in it that's directed to her out of the corner of his eye, and no one sees it. These guys, oh, that's wonderful, yeah. It's instructive to watch. So he's saying, like, I think you'll find it, you'll enjoy it here in Panama a lot. He says, I think I'm going to like it very much. And he's talking about her. But they think, well, that's wonderful. Right? He's talking about her the whole time, and she can feel it. She's like looking at him like, who do you think you are? That's her body language, and no one sees it.
And the body language is like, hey, I don't like this guy, but inside he knows that there's much more of a mixed reaction going on.
Oh, of course. Watch the whole scene and watch. Eventually, she gets together with him. Of course.
I want to read something actually from the book.
Okay.
This is, I think, the section, the Alabaster story that ties together what we've been talking about for the last half an hour or more. You say, she smells like the flowers of Colombia, the perfumed gardens of Medellin. Four of us at the small round table, enjoying a few moments of wit and wine. She sits to my left, beautiful, regal, poised. Her date sits across from me. His friend sits to my right. Conversation swells among us. She is mine. I can tell. I've been in this situation too many times before not to recognize a connection. She is talking to me now, telling me something about her work or life. I, of course, cut her off, mid-sentence. Can I ask you a very important question? How important? Life or death? She smiles. Sure. Can you feel that in the air? You and I are going to get together. It is absolutely pure and absolutely going to happen. You know it and I know it. I can see it in your eyes. The two men at our table are oblivious, talking to each other, animated. They can't hear us. This is our space. My communication with women goes completely unnoticed by other men, even men who are trying to listen. No matter, ours is a secret language. She stops talking and looks down at the table, contemplating my words, my announcement, my imperative. Her eyes flutter, a slight hesitation, then barely audible. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm just struck by the confidence and the strength.
Because it's not a confidence of me being great. It's a confidence that I could of what is actually there, what's present. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can feel it. So I announce it. I call it forth. This is the way it should be going, because this is the way it naturally is going to be. That makes sense.
So you're very bold.
Oh yeah, I'm very bold.
Are you ever bold and wrong?
Not wrong in what I'm describing. I can tell. I can feel it. When there's that connection, I'm not wrong in describing that. I'm maybe wrong in that I'm going to see you later, or we're going to get together because whatever. Just catch a plane in an hour or something, you know?
Yeah.
So it's always been logistics to me. Has always been my enemy.
Oh, me too.
Always been my enemy's logistics.
So that's a truth for you, though. You can feel that there.
Yeah. And it, yes, I can. I can feel it. Now somebody can say, well, why is that so? I don't know the why. Because I'm homegrown with my understanding of, I didn't come from a psychology background or a physiology background or anatomy background. I don't know why. I really don't know why. And I can't describe why. Maybe there's some scientists or some knowledgeable psychologist type people that can describe what's going on in that exchange. I don't know. But I know for sure that that's strong. I could feel it.
There's the greatest assumption I ever got from you, and it's touching on the mirror neurons that you talked about the other day, and also this, I can feel when I've got the energy here. You say love is symmetrical, attraction is symmetrical.
Yeah.
So I assume if I'm talking to a woman and there's some kind of connection there, that if I'm feeling something in here, that she is too.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's the assumption.
Yes, that's the assumption. Yeah. Because she is.
Yeah.
If you're feeling it here, if you're in your head trying to pick her up, trying to convince her, right? She could be feeling anything. You're not connecting.
Yeah.
You're not receiving. You're not feeling where she is. You're feeling it all up here and trying to analyze and trying to figure it out, trying to say something funny, trying to say the next thing, trying to convince her to get in the cab, trying to see if she'll respond to a drink maybe. It's all this. That's just like it's a sputtering, sparking energy that doesn't go anywhere. As opposed to feeling it here, when you feel that somebody needs to describe this for me, because I don't know what it is either. It's a difference.
I'm reminded of tango as well when we were taught that. The style of it, you do the invitation, And there's a stage before you start dancing, I think it's called like calibration, where literally for 10 seconds you kind of sway and you can put your
That's
chest
true
down
before
here.
you start moving.
Yeah, so before you start, until you both feel that energy.
Till you
And
both.
Then you feel it here, and then everything goes natural, it's spontaneous, it flows unchoreographed. That's interesting. Nothing happens in the dance of tango until you both feel that energy.
Until you come aligned.
Come aligned, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's a great way of and tango is all from
Yeah.
the chest. It's all from the heart.
Yeah.
All of it. For the man, it all comes from here. This is everything. She only gets. You can try and steer her with your arms, but it's the intention of your heart here. This intention. This is where it's going to go, and that's where she follows. Yeah, that's powerful.
And there's also another concept that happens in dance as well. We talk about invitations and giving her space to reply, and if she likes you, she'll respond. But there are times when someone will seem like they're not interested, but it's in a playful way.
Yeah.
So if you, example, say, I'll meet at 7:30, she's like, I can't tonight, and you say, I understand, let's make it 8 then.
Yeah.
But what you're saying, you're not sending an invitation and reject it, it's you see something deep within her that she wants to meet up, and it's her playing the dance, almost like they do in some dances, pretending to be disinterested, being coy, that's it, but they really are. That's a whole different thing.
That's interesting, because I would not say that to a girl who was, there was no invitation from in her.
Exactly.
I would not say that, hey, let's get together at 7:30. I can't, whatever. I have a boyfriend. Okay, let's make it 8:30 then.
Yeah.
There's still connection there, right?
Yeah.
But a girl who's not receiving that, that's just a bunch of lines then.
Yes.
It's just a bunch of words. And hey, I'll say this, and let's get together at 7:30. I'm not interested. Okay, let's make it 8:30. Ha ha ha. It's there's no play. There's no give and take.
So all these cheeky little, few liners that you've written in here in italics, like, I can't, I have a boyfriend. Oh, have you got 2? Every girl needs a second boyfriend.
Yeah.
Like that kind of stuff we will only say if there's already a little bit of delight in the woman.
Of course.
Yeah. And you know when it's, no, I've got a boyfriend.
Yeah.
And it's closed.
Yeah, and I'm not going to stomp all over her relationship.
Yeah.
But it's fun to like have these cheeky, as you Brits would say, these cheeky little moments, because it's fun. It's fun for her too. It's fun for the 65-year-old woman too.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I think it might be very obvious what I'm going to say, but to anyone that might be looking at this, all the phrases that you use, these are not like how to get around the boyfriend patterns to use at all. In fact, you only say this kind of thing for joy and ease and delight with a woman when she's already receptive and wants to play some flirting with you.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not like, if you actually learn all the lines from where you flirted in here, then it's going to change any kind of outcome.
Exactly.
No,
Not a chance in the world. Like, I'm going to say something that's kind of funny or amusing or something. She says, I have a boyfriend. I'm going to say something else. And now she's going to not be loving her boyfriend and maybe get... That makes no sense.
Yeah.
That doesn't work.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's for sure. It's not to get past anything at all. It's just say, it's having fun in the moment. I'm amusing myself here.